All right, Mom. So we're ready.
Okay.
So I love all your stories. You have so many of them, but one of my favorites is to hearing about. Is it your father's sister's Aunt Jeannie
Uh-huh.
and
Wow.
and Wawa? So would you kind of tell us a little bit about?
No, it's so that I heard. I wasn't even born at that
Okay.
time.
Right. Right.
So that I heard that the two these brothers, Harrises, and sisters Hawkins, and Harris to Joe Eddie, Edward Hawkins, Edward Harrison, and John Harrison were in love with they were in love with Jeannie Hawkins and Veronica Hawkins, but the Veronica we call Wawa, and Jeannie we call Aunt Jeannie. Okay, just been Aunt Jeannie. When it seems that what I understood of John Harrison was in love with Jeannie, and Eddie Harrison was in love with Jeannie also. But Wawa interfered and took John away from Jeannie. And so when I came along, they weren't talking, and they weren't talking after when I left. When I was 19 years old, I left Bluefields,
Okay.
and they still weren't talking.
Okay, so let me summarize here. So you have two sisters, the Hawkins sisters. These are your father's sisters, right? Jeannie
Yeah.
and Veronica, and they were ended up dating two brothers, Harrison and John.
John Harrison, Eddie.
John and Eddie Harrison. And so both of the you said that Jeannie was
They were born, and both of them were in love with John. I said, you understand, John was tall, muscular, brown curly hair, gray eyes, very white. And Eddie was skinny, little, about 5'6" or 5'7", and
very dark, very dark skin.
yeah, very close crop hair,
Hair.
cut hair, and small features. Wherein John was muscular and
Very handsome.
very handsome. But he had a fault, very lazy also.
Okay. He was very lazy. Okay, so you what the way you told me the story is Jeannie, did Jeannie steal John away from
Wawa stole John away from
Jeannie?
Jeannie.
Okay. Wawa stole him away. So that was actually Jeannie's boyfriend.
Yes.
John, and then Wawa stole him. And because of that, they ended up having a rift where they never talked again, huh?
No, they never talked. And we lived in like a compound.
Was this in Pointine?
And in Pointine, yeah.
Okay. So Pointine's a section of Nicaragua. So, I mean, Bluefields. So now, okay, so who lived in because there was it used to be the Irene restaurant and hotel right there in
That
Pointine.
was Jeannie.
That was Jeannie's house.
Yeah.
Because later, this is years after it was Irene, but okay, that was Jeannie's house. And so tell us about that. Tell us about that place. How they...
The house was, it was that kind of hill.
Yes. Yeah.
And the house was built up, and underneath he had a delta and washing machine, not washing machine, washer, top where you wash your clothes, and the lagoon, every so, I don't know, we didn't have summer, spring, and others,
Right.
but I get there was spring. The lagoon would be loaded with lilies, and it would smell up the whole Ponty place. Beautiful.
You said he had a delta. They had a delta. What's a delta?
Something like we outside,
Like what?
like what we have out there.
What do we? I don't know what you're talking about. What do we have out there?
When the light goes out,
Oh, like a generator.
yeah.
Oh, like a generator. Okay.
So he had, Sunday you have ice cream or ice shake.
Ice shake.
Ice shake.
Okay.
You know where you shave the ice,
Oh, shaved ice. Okay. Yeah.
shave ice and
And you
put
put
the
the syrup
syrup.
on it. Yes.
And they had the niece working for them. And he was the only one had electricity, electric lights, and a beautiful home.
About what year was this with him?
1 year,
About what year are we talking about?
we talk about in the, if I remember, 2019, 19 what? I was about 12 or 13 years old.
Okay. So about 1932, 1933.
Yeah, that's right.
And they had electricity. They were the only few people in the area that had electricity.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So what did John do for a living?
That did nothing.
No, I'm talking about we're talking about Jeannie, right?
Yeah, but
No, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. We're
Mr.
talking about
Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie had a boat, a small launch, and he would. You see, Bluefields is set back all the way back, and the lagoon, half the lagoon was very shallow, and to go not accommodate the ships. So the ship would come in what they call the bluff.
The bluff. It's still the same thing today.
Ship would come in where you call the bluff, and Eddie would go on like for the mercantile and for the stores, bring the the stuff in that they ordered from the ship. No.
And that's how he made his.
He made a good living. Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie did. And so, so then so that was Eddie. So what was going on with John? The handsome John that got stolen by Wawa. What happened with him?
Well, as far as I know, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did.
But you felt like he didn't do much, huh?
He did what she would try to get work for him. Like, for instance, he would get a watchman. He would be on the wharf where Eddie would bring out the things, crates and stuff, and they had a warehouse, and they packed them all up in there to the store and come and get them. And he would watch them, but she would give him a Johnny cake and a thermos of coffee. And he would eat it before, he's supposed to eat it around 12 o'clock because he had dinner early. But he would eat it before and then go to sleep and he come and tell her that he couldn't do with the watchman because too much ghosts walking around there.
Too many ghosts walking.
Yeah. And so she said, no ghosts walking around there. You're sleeping.
You were sleeping.
You eat and then you go to sleep and you dream. A ghost, and they fired him.
Wow.
Got the owner come kick up down and look around and found him asleep. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, did your parents, did your father live in Pointine at that time?
No, my father, no. My father lived in Corn Island.
At that time, okay,
Uh-huh.
at that time. So tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up in Bluefields and Corn Island and all that. What was that like? So, like
My father?
I would like for you now. Let's fast forward to the
Oh,
1920s.
me growing up in
Yeah. What was your childhood like? I'm sure the grandchildren would like to know what your childhood was like.
my what?
Your childhood. What was your childhood like?
Oh, my childhood was typical childhood, I believe.
Typical? Uh-huh.
Yeah. My father had, after he got married, my mother family, he was in San Andres, Colombia, teaching. And he met my mother there. And so they got married. She was only 16 years old. And they got married and they left Cartagena. But before they left Cartagena, at that time, the family would give the dowry. And they claim, no, we don't know if this is true or not, but they claim that my mother's grandfather was Zachary Taylor's cousin.
Okay.
Zachary Taylor was
He became a president. He was one of our presidents.
But anyway, he probably was because they had bought half a San Andres, and they had a lot of land. But when my mother got married to my father, they said that they could not give her land because she was going back to Nicaragua, and no way she could take care of her land. So they gave her gold piece. They gave my father about 200 pieces of gold, $20 gold piece.
Wow.
And he take that money and when I don't know how to say this.
You're saying it good.
Okay, he was a teacher, and then he was the organist in the Moravian church, and then the Anglican church wanted an organist, and they said they stole him away.
Mm-hmm.
And and while he was organist, the priest there, they said, gave him a job to take the Wednesday night service. That was just evening service.
Evening prayer.
Evening prayer,
Right.
yeah.
So this is the Anglican church, and this was a Jamaican priest, right?
No, he's an English priest.
Okay.
No. And eventually they gave him, they approved him to be a priest. So the priest got that they got the thing from England, and he had to,
Like the test and the, yeah.
study them, and then take a test, and the priest will send the test back to England.
Like a correspondence class.
Yeah,
That was kind of how he did his seminary.
yeah.
Okay.
And that way he was ordained when the bishop came, and the bishop would come once a year, but he would stay about 6 months around the,
Central America.
Central America.
So I think you were kind of getting into what Grandpa used the 20 the gold
then
ones for.
he was they called it a curate when he worked under a priest because he was a deacon, and he worked under a priest, and he was sent to he was sent to
To Corn Island?
no. He was sent to San Juan del Norte,
Okay. So
where I was born.
So he started off though in Bluefields at St. Marcos, right? Or St. Mark's. Right? Okay. And then he became a priest or curate, and then they sent him over to Greytown.
Greytown,
and that's
right.
where you were born.
Yeah. So my father was said this you that Greytown was like a small island, and they had to go take a dory and go all around the island and give the shut-in communion, and that he'd be so tired because the priest he had to do everything for me, and he had to get up on Monday once a month and get in the dory and take communion to all the shut-in around the island. Well, he was so tired, he went up, got up at 4 o'clock and went to, to the dory and pushed off the dory and was jumping when the things moved. When he found out it was an alligator he had pushed off the land.
Not a dory.
Not the dory. And that scared him. And he told the curate, the priest, that he just couldn't do that anymore. So
let me stop you there for a minute. So the dory is a small boat, and it's interesting. Right now, still in Bluefields, it's a very common mode of transportation.
Oh yeah, Bluefields and all around.
All that is still the dory.
They called it the dory.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So he said he couldn't do it anymore. So then did he end up leaving Greytown?
Yes, in Greytown. I was about 2 years old. Anyway,
you want a cough drop?
Yes.
Okay.
And he went to Bluefields and he stayed in Bluefields for a while. But what he had almost 11 kids. And the eldest one was a girl, Carmen, and I'm the youngest one.
Yeah, okay.
And when he went then, he was sent to Corn Island. You should go to Corn Island now, it's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Mm.
Okay.
You talk.
All right. So okay. So because I think we're still trying to figure out what did he do with his dowry. He had this.
Oh, he took the dowry and eventually he bought land.
Okay.
Lots and lots of land. Yeah, I think he owned half of Corn
He bought a
Island.
lot of land in Corn Island. Okay.
And when a child of his left, they always leave around. He sent four boys to trade school.
Trade school. Yeah. In Jamaica.
And no,
Oh.
but he himself, that's how we made a living by tailoring.
Taylor. Okay.
And he sent his boy to the guy who trained him to train them
Right there in Bluefield.
in Bluefield, yes.
Okay. And so he would use some of the money for that to train.
That's right, to do some, train those four.
Which four boys?
Milton, Jack,
Milton, Jack,
Stanley.
Stanley.
Oh, three of them.
Three of them. Okay.
Yeah,
They-
Milton, Jack, and
And
Stanley.
they were being trained to be tailors, where they sew and make
So-
suits and clothes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And he gave them, and then Milton decided that he was going to spread his wings. So, we're talking about my father.
We're kind of getting into how he used the dowry. So you were saying that he used some of the money to train. Every time a child left, they would get money, and he made sure all of his kids got some kind of training, right?
Yeah. And then he gave them $20 gold piece when they left home.
When everybody got a $20 gold piece when they left home. Okay, so then he bought the land in Corn Island, and so that's where. Did you grow up in Corn Island? Tell us
When I grew up in Corn Island until I was about 5 years old or 6, and then I was sent to Bluefields to go to school.
And how long of a boat ride was it from Corn Islands to Bluefields?
It was a 40-mile of open sea.
40 miles on open sea. Yikes.
I had a sailboat with the small engine, and you would leave, say for instance, about the night time, and by morning you might be in Bluefields.
Oh, so you travel at night too?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. And so, but you when you can't, you wouldn't do that every day. You would just stay in Bluefields.
I would stay in Bluefields from August until May.
And who did you stay with?
I stayed with my Carmen, had my two other sisters and my brothers,
And that was and you stayed in Pointine.
and we stayed in Pointine with Tita.
Tita.
Tita is the one that did all the work. She did the washing, the cleaning, and
And really, her name is Alita, right? Alita.
Anita,
And
yeah.
she's one of your father's sisters.
Yeah, and that's who Tita.
Yeah, I'm saying Tita's one of your father's sisters.
Oh, yes.
Because you have Veronica, you have Tita, you have Jeannie. These are all your father's sisters. Okay. All right. So then and where would you go to school? Where did you go to school?
I went to the English school. We walk from Pointine to Backstreet, where the church and school was.
Mm-hmm.
We walked, I think it was about 2.5 or 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to walk that in the morning. We get up in the morning. We go to the well and get the well water, go down to the lagoon where they had the toilet, bathroom, over the lagoon and we take a bath in there, in the toilet. Oh God, that toilet it wasn't well built. It had so you could sit there like a tour.
Okay.
And that when not Western stuff, you freeze to death. My brother, my mother said she had studied. She would take it up. My mother couldn't handle study. So study stayed with Wawa. Wawa said study, she would listen because she believed I studied in the bed. And she did that study, take the calabash with the water, whoosh, and hit it against the water, go to the vocabulary. Go to the vocabulary. And because it was so cold to that cold air coming through and
So you said you took a calabash?
calabash, yeah.
So that's like a
Make it for gold.
gourd, right? And you fill it with water, and so that's what you bathe with.
Calabash, you better get your tub, but you use a calabash
To pour the water on you, to
Pour
shower
water
or
on you,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay. And he was faking it. He was acting like he was bathing. That's
Uh-huh.
he was pretending he was taking a bath, but he wasn't.
Sunday, the eldest brother,
Yeah, Uncle
Sunday.
Stanley, yeah.
Now, I did not know any of them.
Because you were so young. They were so much older.
So, Binta came to the city. Yeah,
Well, no, you were talking about you had to walk quite a bit of ways.
yeah, we had to
to
walk.
school.
That's right. We had to be at school at 8 o'clock. That means we got up around 6, go to the well, get some water, take a bath, and have a breakfast, a cup of coffee, a cup of cocoa, and a slice of bread. Okay, and walk, and if you are late, they will beat you in your hand. And then you walk home for dinner, then you walk back, and then you
Did you have that like siesta time? Did they give you that 12 to 2, or was it just
no, there was no extra time.
no extra time? But you walk back. When you said dinner, you talking about noon? That was what we
Yeah,
call lunch. Yeah.
I think we can't leave at 11, go home and be back in school by 1.
Okay.
So you have, and then you leave at 3. And we go play basketball or croquet or something like that.
So you played croquet? as a
Oh,
kid?
yeah.
That's probably why we had the croquet when we were in Long Island. You had the croquet in the backyard because you knew croquet from being a kid.
Yeah.
It's very English. A lot of English influences.
Uh-huh.
And so that was your school day, huh?
I remember that, Karen Miller, he was the priest there at the Anglican Church, St. Mark's, and he married a local, he was from Jamaica.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was from
He was
Jamaica,
from Jamaica.
and he married a local girl, and she put her ears, and she was the child's wife, and you couldn't tell her nothing. And she had 2 kids, one brother and Louise. And it seemed that she said it looked like the teacher, the head teacher, had it in for her and my mother. And so because they put me and Louise on the outside and stand up on a bench like, and over the top we had dunks.
Okay.
And she, oh God, she carried on. That woman did. God, her daughter does. My mother wasn't even there. She didn't call that.
Your mother wasn't even there. They called you. Why did they call you dunce?
I didn't know we probably could do it.
Whatever the work was, and they were
Yeah.
just they humiliated the children.
Yeah, I told we were nuts.
Oh man, I never heard that one. That's a new story.
Uh-huh. And then they had plays, lots of plays.
Mm.
And then we had that I can remember. We had after Cannibal left and went to Jamaica. He had died.
He died.
Yeah, he died in Jamaica.
With him and his wife, I take it. They all went back.
She was there before. She took her kids there. Went to
she
school.
left and went back early. Oh, okay.
And he went to vacation and he died.
Mm.
There was but see, when she left, they had a girl working for them in the mission, and she became pregnant and they wanted to say her Carmel, but she wasn't Carmel, but some guy walked up and making a whole lot of women pregnant.
Oh Lord.
So that, and he went back to Jamaica too. And then my father had to come from Corn Island once a week and take the church in Boothville was the biggest church than Corn Island Church.
Right.
So they had to have a priest there.
That was at St. Mark. So would he come every Sunday?
Yeah, you do every Sunday.
And
Except I think he was in Corn Island, he would leave on Wednesday and come to Bluefields.
but you were already in Bluefields, right?
Oh yeah, I was there.
But did they now? So did your father? So where did he stay? He had a house in
He's
Point.
no, he said the mission.
He said the mission you took me to, the mission I got to see, the one that you later ended up living in too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Still there. Yeah. All right. Wow. So that's what I remember. He was in both. He had to do both churches: St. James on Corn Island, and then St. Mark's in
No,
Bluefield.
St. Andrews was Corn
St. Andrews. Okay, it's St. James now.
And the
St.
St.
Andrews then.
Boxes is Bluefields.
Okay. I think what happened is after a hurricane destroyed St. Andrews, then they rebuilt it.
St. Mark's.
No, St. Andrews. Then they rebuilt it, and it was St. James, because now it's St. James.
Mm-hmm. And what else do we do?
So,
And then when I was 11, and Patience and Lucy were 13, that is what my father said. He said, he sent a Herbert to Cartagena to school,
that's
right?
in Columbia.
Columbia.
To medical school, right? To medical school? He sent him to medical school.
Yeah, medical
in Cartagena.
School.
Okay.
And then they had to give them that big go-away party. And my sister Carmen, who was taking care of us, because sent us to be at the house around 1 o'clock to get dressed to go to the party because they were having one at the school. And so we were outside playing, make a Lucy Patience and I, and some other kids. And Lucy and Patience, with the twins, but I didn't miss them.
They left. Okay.
They left. And the next thing I look, they were all dressed walking down the street going to this party. So I ran home. And when I ran home, my sister said, "Oh, you're too late. You won't be able to go." So I didn't go to the party.
You were probably really upset.
Oh, definitely. And we had a good party. So, and um, eventually, my father started getting letters from people in Colombia that his son was not going to school, his son was doing this and that. So he decided to take a sabbatical. And he took a sabbatical, which was about 6 months. And so in 1934,
You were about 14.
yes, I was 14. 1934, and we went to Cologne. I stayed there about a month. Then we went to San Andres. And then we were from San Andres. All the time, it was little boats. A little tiny sailboat. You slept on the deck. And underneath where where the engine and the luggage were. And at the tail end and was the kitchen open. And so that's where we slept and around the deck was just some slats.
Okay.
And so if you slide off, you're going to go straight into the
ocean.
ocean. Okay. So we
Well, let me ask you this: when you went to San Andreas, you were going to see your mother's family.
yeah,
Okay.
that's when the see remedies back again. My mother and father. And so when we got at this little boat to go to Cartagena from San Andres, my God, and then we hit a storm, and it blew in the Gulf of Mexico, and it tipped this boat to go all the way up like the top of this floor. I could whoop.
Oh goodness gracious, that's scary.
Everybody was seasick except me.
Oh wow.
Usually what they would have, they bring is pigtail, salt and pigtail. And they would boil them and give you to eat, and that would kind of settle your stomach so you wouldn't.
Oh my goodness, that's what they would salted pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I'll tell you the truth. Everybody prayed. Even the captain was seasick. Except for me. I was not seasick. And we got to Cartagena, and we stayed there for about 6 months. We rented a cottage. It had one bedroom. After my mother and father took it out, we had slept out in the hall. And
Who was it? Was you, your mother and father, Patience, and Lucille?
Lucille came back. Carmen couldn't stand Lucille. Lucille wouldn't act right, so she sent Lucille back.
So Carmen was with you too.
Huh?
Carmen was with you too. I'm trying to say who all went on this sabbatical. Who all was there?
Oh, just me, Lucille, father, mama.
Okay.
Where
was Patience?
In Jamaica. She does in school. Patience and Lucille went to Jamaica with Carmen as the chaperone. And
okay, so
but Carmen couldn't take Lucy would go to school. Lucy wanted to.
Okay, so this is when they're about 16 because they're about a couple years older than you. Your father sent them to Jamaica to go to school. What type of school was it?
Finishing school.
What?
I think it was, they called it finishing school.
Finishing school. Okay, so they went to finishing school in Jamaica. But Carmen went to chaperone them. Their older sister was,
yes.
Okay, but then
and I was there with Tita.
You were with Tita. But Lucille acted so bad in Jamaica, or Carmen had such a hard time with her, she ended up sending Lucille back to Bluefields.
Right.
And then when the sabbatical trip happened, then she actually came. It was you and her, and then your parents went on the sabbatical.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got it. Now I get it. Let me ask you one other thing while we stop there. When you talked about San Andreas going to see your mother's family, why don't we talk for a minute about who are your mother's sisters, so that everybody knows who they and brother.
My sisters were one.
So Louisa.
Three. She had 3 sisters as far as I know.
And what are their names?
Savarine, Popsy, and Leola. Leola.
Popsy, Leola, and Severine?
Yeah.
And then there was a brother.
Part of them were Cooley.
Uncle Cooley. And so did you get to see them when you were there?
Oh, in San Andreas?
Yes.
Oh, no. They were in Cologne.
They were in Cologne at that time?
Yeah, we stayed with the Severines.
You stayed with Aunt Severine?
Yeah.
She was in San Andreas.
I don't know.
I'm saying, who did you stay with?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, I thought you just said Aunt Severine.
No, I don't remember. I probably a cousin or something, but I don't remember.
And they had a hotel in San Andreas, right?
Yeah. I don't remember who we stayed. But anyway, we came out to head up for 6 months.
And you were checking. The initial reason for the trip was to check on Uncle Herbert, who was in medical school, but everyone was saying he wasn't going to school. He was messing up.
Yeah.
So what happened with that?
What he did, my father and him, they went to school. He went to school. He was going to school. Mm-hmm. He wasn't doing what they said he was doing. Anyway, he went to school. My father was saying that he went to college with him several times. Mm-hmm. And I told you, my father said he don't know how any of them become a doctor. Because it was a big open auditorium. Mm-hmm. And the professor was at the stage lecturing. And what they did was take notes. Mm-hmm. There were about 500 students.
Wow.
In that auditorium, all sitting down at the desk taking notes while under the test. And that's the way they went to school there.
Wow.
And then he sent Byron and Timothy to New Orleans, you know?
Right. They all went to Straight College
to
in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they were basically finishing high school. It was still high school, but then it transitioned into college. And
then he said, losing a patient, Jamaica, to finish school.
Right. So you were there for 6 months. And what did you do while you were there? Did you go to school while you were there?
No, we did. We did nothing. He cut ahead at that time. I don't know how he did know. It was from 8 o'clock in the morning till around 4. You had to be inside something. It was so hot.
Oh, wow.
And we met Herbert's girlfriend, and we were go to her parents' house. Mm-hmm. And also, Cartagena was a beautiful place. They had the old city and the new city. And the old city with where you go to the fort, and the fort was awkward and beautiful, but how you know how people use it as a bathroom, and
They didn't take care of it.
but it was right at the ocean,
Mm.
and but there were people who live in the old city. We live in the new city.
You in the new city? Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you. Okay, all right. And you went back years later.
Oh,
Did you go back years later to visit
and San Andres?
Cartagena?
No.
You never went
Never
back.
go
That
back
was the only time you ever went there.
Yeah. I took Ginger to
San Andreas. I remember that. Yeah. And we never knew what ever happened to Uncle Herbert. I mean, Uncle Herbert. He studied in Spanish too, though, right? He
He
studied.
learned to speak English.
He didn't know how to speak English. He
No,
lost.
he
He lost
learned
his
to speak
English.
English.
He started English as a child, but lost it.
What he got married, it looks like, it seems, and he wrote patience. He used to write patience on the Spanish letters, but patience were pretty good at Spanish, so was I. And he wrote her and told her that he was married and he had all these kids. And he named all of them Lucille and Enid. Her, but he didn't name none. And she said he got some nerve, want me to be guardian of his children, and did them one after me.
So Eduardo's his father, right?
Eduardo
Yeah.
and
And Eduardo lives on Corn Island now.
Yeah.
And he's like 71 years old. And then and one of his sons is Winston,
Winter and
but we don't know where
Eduardo.
Winston is. Yeah. Yeah. And what that wasn't when. So it was years later though when your mother brought Eduardo and Winston back to Bluefields. It wasn't that trip.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
that was the deal. I was,
You weren't there. Okay. Yeah. But years later, your mother went to visit Herbert, I guess, in Cartagena and found out
Yes.
that those kids were not being taken care of. So
Yeah.
she ended up bringing Eduardo and Winston back. And like I said, Eduardo continues to live in Corn Island, but we have no idea where Winston is. And Herbert had a bunch of other kids too, right? He had like 26 kids.
He's supposed to have, yeah.
Some crazy amount of kids. Yeah. Well, we don't have any. We don't know whatever happened to him. No contact.
Oh, no. When I was in San Andres, I met a cousin, and he said he was up the river. That's where he had his
Practice.
practice, yeah. And when he graduated from
Medical school.
math school, and a friend of his graduated from pharmacy school, they decided to go in together. That he would open a drugstore, the friend would open a drugstore, and he happened to have
The medical practice.
a medical part. But then he wanted his instruments and a place. So he wrote to Stanley, not Stanley, Milton, Milton and Baron and Stanley. And I told them that he had finished with college and that he was a doctor now, and he did it about $10,000. And they laughed at him and they said, well, 1,000.
They sent him 1,000, but they laughed at him. And
What? They not go send him $10,000.
Right.
And he he got mad with them. Yeah, my son did patience.
So then he ended up going to your father. How did your father get involved with that?
My father, was finished with him.
So no, because I always thought that was it that at first the brothers didn't send him any money, and then he talked to
No,
your.
they sent him money to buy. They sent him enough to buy a shingle
Mm-hmm.
and some insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
So why was Patience mad at him?
At them, oh God, you know what? That's a different story.
Okay. Is that the story with about the sanitarium?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we just tell that story and then you can take a
Okay.
break.
When patients came to New York to visit me, I was in 1946, I think it was. And she was a big eater. And she just picked at the food. And I wonder what is wrong with her. I said, what's wrong with you? Why you not eat? She said, I don't know. I need to go to a doctor to find out. But it was on July the 4th and she was leaving on July the 5th. And so I said to her, well, let's go to a clinic. I thought we could get to a Harlem clinic.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was closed for July 4th.
Right.
So and then she was leaving July 5th. So she left. And about a month or so later, she wrote me and told me she had TB. And so naturally I was
Tuberculosis, right?
Yeah. Okay. Then I know somebody told her about the sanitarium in Costa Rica. So she wrote my father and told him that he had TB and that he could go to Costa Rica in the sanitarium there. When my father was a priest, I was about 26, 27 years old, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And all that time, he had never touched a penny that he got paid from England. All that money that he get paid from England was sent to the bank in Belize. And he wrote the president of the bank and told him about the daughter, give her the power of attorney to take the money out and go to Costa Rica.
So she could stay in that sanitarium, that's like a place, I guess, where people with infections can stay and it's sort of like isolate, like a quarantine kind of place. But it's a hospital.
It was the sanitarium, but yeah. Well, what she did was, my father probably had a couple of $1 million
Yeah,
in there.
so you're saying for 26 years he didn't touch his money. He didn't touch his salary.
More than 26.
Wow.
Because he did not touch that money from England come straight to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave her the power of attorney to go to the bank and get the money. What she did was she hired a private nurse and they went on the plane because she claimed they would allow on the plane unless she had a private nurse.
Mm.
And she went to Bluefields and she stayed there for about a month with the private nurse. And then she went down to it. And she kept the private nurse probably 6 years.
Wow.
No, about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bank, no, the Carmen got sick. And my mother
Well, wait. No, that doesn't make sense. If you were already in New York, Carmen had already died.
No, I'm talking about the item that he did, but I don't know. Carmen got sick. I know that for my
Because
fact.
Carmen got sick in like 1939.
No.
Yeah, 1940 in Panama.
Okay.
Yeah,
now,
getting everything kind of a little bit mixed
I
up.
see, yeah, how that happened? Because that's how he found out that she was depleting his bank account.
She used all of his. How did he find out?
Yeah, because it was my mother. Oh, this was all before, I don't know. Because she didn't know she had TV until now. Oh, this was hearsay.
Okay.
That I don't, that is confusing. Because the cover got sick, that died in that one too.
Okay.
So
he had the money was still in the bank in 1942.
I don't know.
Because you never mentioned him using his money to help Carmen. Carmen didn't go
No,
anywhere.
no, that had come when my mother went to Color to take care of Carmen. She didn't want, and she wrote him, but he wrote to the banking police and told him to send this money to her. And they told him that I was almost depleted.
Oh.
That his daughter had to support his money.
Okay, so let's look at the ages here, because you would have been at that time when you were like 24, I guess, and so
Yeah.
Patience would have been about 26.
Uh-huh.
So did she get so I think the story's right, but I think you weren't in New York yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because if my memory serves correct, later Patience came to New York with her nurse. That's what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, whatever happened, the bottom line is Patience basically depleted your father's bank account
Right.
for her personal nurse.
But he still committed up because he was still working. And he and then that's why he wrote Stanley, Milton, and them and told them to help because he will have the money when he retired. Because patients have probably about to put it in the bank account. And so they said, okay, they would. That's one thing about Byron and Milton. Whatever my father and mother asked for, they were willing to do. I guess they would. You send you to school and you make it a good living. Anyway, Milton, they were, what did I say? Oh, they wrote Patience. I told her because all the time, after 5 years, she was in the private room with a private nurse. And they wrote and told her they go, that was almost $500, $600 a month. Dollars.
Right.
And they wrote and told her she got to give up that private room. She got to give up that private nurse. And she had about 2 operations, which was very expensive. And so she, otherwise they are not going to support her.
Because they removed one of her lungs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so with that, she got scared and said, yeah, okay. So she moved into the ward.
Into the what?
The ward, way on the pew.
Oh, the ward. Okay.
And they didn't eat the hospital food. What their money was sent to them, they take it and buy and cook their own food. They had a furnace with coal and utensils that people gave them, and they cooked their own food. And she said that was saved her life. Because when she got she didn't eat the hospital food either, and she didn't eat. But when she moved into the ward, and cause they would pepper up the food and it tastes good. And they would eat that, and she would eat. So she stayed in the ward for about a year or so, and then she wrote my father and told him that she was reading that out. And he wrote the diocese, and they suggested this priest. And the priest wrote him and said, yes, he can use the secretary and the organist. Because that's what she was. And she went and worked with him.
Where was that? Where was this priest?
Huh?
Where?
In Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
I think we'll put them below, put on that monk, and the wonders. So she worked with him for 6 months until they absolutely told her, okay, to school and she could leave. So she left and went back to Bluefields. And when she went back to Bluefields, she was to be the principal of the school, but to go along with. So in Wascaba, they were asking for an administrator.
But that was a nursing school, right? In Bella Wascoma.
That was a hospital.
It's a hospital, okay.
So she went to Bella Wascaba, and she became the administrator there.
Right, because we have a picture of her with all the nurses, and
Yeah.
she's at Bella Wascoma, which is like this amazing school for training nurses. Because a lot of those nurses ended up going over to Miami and making really good money, and they were considered really well trained. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But then, after there were 4 or 5 years, then she they brought a white nurse in, a better head nurse. And when she looked at the payroll, this woman was making more money than he was. She was. So she asked the doctor what her name was. Oh, well, she is an American and she has more experience.
More experience.
So I do more work than she does. So, goodbye.
So she quit.
And she quit. And that's when she came to
New York?
New York, and that's when you met her.
That's when I met her, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, wow. So and that's just a little tiny bit of all the stories she has, but all right.